What's up? It's your girl Juanita with Hua, and in 2018, more than 1,000 games were released on the Switch, with 600 provisional games with at least 10 critic reviews, but unfortunately, not enough user reviews. So here are the top 15 underrated Switch games of 2018, arranged by their provisional play score. The play score is an average of gamer and critic ratings. When a game only reaches the minimum requirement of critic or gamer reviews, it receives a provisional play score. Number 15, Velocity 2X. Future Labs follow-up to their successful 2012 shoot-'em-up for the PS4 and Vita, the Switch sequel ramps up the action with a splash of color and a new layer of gameplay. A lot like Blaster Master Zero, Velocity 2X also lets players jump out of their designated spaceships to slip into some side-scrolling shooting with a powerful Kai. Blending two kinds of gameplay into one package, critics love the smooth transitions between them, both showing off the fast-paced excitement we've come to love. While others remarked on the game's engaging visuals and endless replayability, some weren't as impressed, describing it as a bland and repetitive experience. But whichever way you lean, it seems as though it's a great enough arcade game with a rating of 7.99. 14. Overcooked 2. A party game that proves that collective misery can be fun. The Ghost Town game's second installment gathers you and your friends right back in the kitchen for another round of gastronomic hell. Back with a dishwasher load of brand new levels and recipes, it comes with a shiny new polish. But for all its signature toughness, it still has some hiccups like the technical frustrations of their clumsy corner counters. It also has an online multiplayer that adds more challenge to the kitchen chaos, but could still use a bit more time in the oven. A tasty treat nonetheless, it would have deserved a spot in the official ranking with a provisional play score of 7.99. At 13, Yoku's Island Express. If Velocity 2X was a smooth transition from one shooting to another, Villa Girla's action platformer is a union of unlikely genres. Set in a sprawling 2D open world, Yoku takes you on a Metroidvania tour of ancient caverns in, get this, pinball fashion. Bouncing players around from one end to the next, it's a unique adventure experience that for some reviewers definitely enhances the genre's usual meandering pace. On top of its charming visuals and overall presentation, it also offers engaging puzzles, with each area always ripe with secrets to scour for. Putting a twist on a time-tested formula, it receives a rating of 8.09. 12. Moonlighter. Digital Sun's roguelike RPG that takes inspirations from the classics. And you can feel it at first glance. Aside from its pixel aesthetics, Moonlighter also nails the traditional third-person perspective that takes you back to the old Pokemon days. Revolving around a shopkeeper/adventurer, Moonlighter stands out by offering both dungeon crawling action and simulation, effortlessly revitalizing the JRPG tropes it adopts. For many reviewers, it has a balanced blend of nitty-gritty commerce and satisfying swordplay that can appeal to fans of both, though it might have the tendency to feel grindy in later hours. A promising indie title with a provisional play score of 8.1. Number 11, LUMINES Remastered. A remastered version of the award-winning 2004 title, the musical puzzle game shines bright on the Switch. From the makers of the equally tantalizing Tetris Effect and Res Infinite, Resonair lends their atmospheric chops to Q Entertainment's puzzle series. One of the hallmarks of the genre, Resonair had some big shoes to fill, but they delivered with the frenetic sights and sounds of this latest installment. Supremely addicting, GameSpot went so far as saying it rewires your brain into a pattern-recognizing machine for visual and audio cues. Already receiving a play score of 8.22 on the PC, this remaster earns its spot on this list with a rating of 8.1. Banking number 10, Mega Man X Legacy Collection. The first of two grand Mega Man collections, everyone's favorite blue robot takes us all on a trip through memory lane with additions spanning from his 16-bit days to his eventual move to the detailed 32-bit format. A celebrated return, it comes with plenty of new features. From the X Challenge mode that faces you off with not one but two deadly bosses, to a literal nostalgia minefield of rare production art and classic merch. With some of the Mega Man title gone into the void of obscure and outdated consoles, this new Switch collection provides the perfect opportunity to replay your favorite chapters. It has a provisional play score of 8.13. Number 9, Darkest Dungeon. Red Hook Studios spills blood red on your screens with its dark and gothic take on dungeon crawling roguelike RPG. Following a group of heroes in their descent into horror and madness, Darkest Dungeon's affliction system effectively captures the physical and psychological stresses of their dire situation. Decidedly dark and gritty, it invites us to crawl into claustrophobic spaces and face enemies in random battles that bring our teams closer to permanent death. First released on the PC, controls might feel a little awkward on the Switch, and as with most roguelikes, there are some frustrations ahead. An immersive and engaging treat, experience its hellish discomfort that will make you crave sunshine. It has a provisional play score of 8.18. Number 8. Limbo. Playdead's been in the business of artistic puzzle platformers since they started with the monochrome melancholia of this 2010 title. Inspired by film noir and German expressionism, Limbo is one of the many poster boys for the video game as art movement. Evoking a sense of loneliness and isolation in its visuals, Limbo is equally splendid in its gameplay, showing off their ingenuity with the puzzles and mechanics throughout the game. One of the main gripes about the title is its short length. Though the experience is universally praised, most critics have found themselves wanting more. With the port to the Switch, there's not a lot of difference. While it would have easily made its way to the Switch's top rankings, the stark lack of user reviews on the console has unfortunately left them out. It has a provisional play score of 8.21. At number 7, we have Gris, another that could have easily made it to the rankings. Nomada Studios' indie adventure has earned a score of 10 out of 10 on Steam and a play score of 8.98 on the PC. With its move to the Switch and the lack of user reviews, its rating is small in comparison. But critics are more than happy about the game, citing its evocative visuals, moving storyline, and captivating emotionality. Telling the story of a girl's internalized struggles in a fantastical kaleidoscope world, it is anything but great, taking your breath away with every beautiful scene. It got its lowest scores from IGN and Metro, who thought less about its heavy-handed metaphor and bare-bones gameplay. With its rating of 8.26, Nomad Studios remains an indie studio to look out for. Number 6, Child of Light Ultimate Edition. Released on the PC and to other consoles in 2014, Ubisoft Montreal's strategy platformer should have been an easy picking for the charts. Inspired by classic fairy tales and medieval myths, this RPG rekindles that childish spark of wonder with its storybook-like atmosphere. Aside from its art style, it also compresses a lot of RPG mechanics within its limited side-scrolling formula. According to Nintendo Life, the game lets you personalize the adventure with their skill trees and gain buffs with a gem crafting system. A novelty among others in the genre, Child of Light brightens whether on the Switch or out. Though suffering some frame rate issues, it doesn't do too much to dull its brilliance, a provisional play score of 8.35. Entering top 5, Hyper Light Drifter Special Edition. One of the most mesmerizing indie titles of late, Hyper Light Drifter paints a paradoxical picture of a ruined world, bathed in neon colors and absolutely stunning in all its pixel perfection. Set in an era where past meets future, play as a drifter that sets out to find a cure to his mysterious illness and his world's broken history. Garnering nothing but high 8s across the board, the Switch experience is special in itself with exclusive features like the Tower Climb Challenge on top of new skills, weapons, and outfits. Despite its age, the Special Edition leaves players with an almost new yet still rewarding experience. A masterpiece made portable, it has a rating of 8.38. 4. Ikaruga. Nikala's trigger-happy bullet hell game isn't gonna go easy on you. Released way back 2014, your mission is to shoot and dodge in this vertigo-inducing shoot-'em-up. Take control of a rebel pilot named Shinra as he battles an enemy nation using his signature ship called the Ikaruga. What makes this game so addicting is its fancy twist of the shoot-'em-up and bullet hell genre. Players can control the Ikaruga's polarity so that it can absorb incoming bullets and deal even greater damage to enemies. Too bad this kind of genre won't be as appreciated as the other Switch games on this list. It receives a provisional play score of 8.39. Getting that number 3 spot, NBA 2K19. It's no surprise 2K Games' latest NBA game won't make it to the Switch. It's a multi-platform industry, and at this point we can pretend every 2K game can be playable on an oven, and it still sounds about right. 2K19 celebrates 20 years of everyone's favorite basketball superstars. It features the most realistic graphics NBA 2K has to date, and it offers groundbreaking game modes, especially its new open-world setting called Neighborhood. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, this massive AAA entry didn't quite hit the Switch limelight due to numerous reasons, including technical issues, bad reception, and maybe it's just uninterested demographic. It has a play score of 8.41. Number 2, Sid Meier's Civilization 6. 2 years ago, nobody expected Firaxis' strategy game would make it to the Switch. Although it's best played on the PC due to efficient micromanaging, the Switch version isn't trying to intimidate players with its complex gameplay. Instead, it offers intuitive controls, tutorial modes, and it even includes the latest packs and improvements to make the experience better. Civ 6 is just like every other Civ game, but too bad it was buried with the big games that were released during November of last year, especially Pokemon Let's Go. Nonetheless, fans of the franchise and new ones that take pride in their ever-growing civilization will be grateful for this Switch port. It has a play score of 8.45. Alright, so before we reveal the number 1, you can check out the complete list of 1000 Switch releases of 2018 in our website whatoplay.com. Link is in the top right corner, and of course in our description box. And the number 1 underrated Switch game is Guacamelee 2. Although it's one of the PC's most acclaimed platformers, Drinkbox Studios' action-adventure platformer isn't very much known on the Switch. Heck, some players wouldn't even know that this game was out on the platform. This underrated game is a love letter to Mexican culture. As a sequel to the original Guacamelee, players return to the shoes of Luchador Juan as he goes out of retirement for a stunning new adventure. Fend off skeletal monsters, overcome challenges, solve puzzles, unlock power-ups, and brave through the land of the living and the dead with the game's beautiful art style. It receives a play score of 8.55. And those are the top 15 underrated Switch games of 2018. If you loved this video, don't forget to give us a like, share, and of course subscribe to become certified What2 players. Thanks again for watching. That's What's What only here at What2Play, and we'll see you next time.